Hey guys, Tony here. I'm outside my buddy Leo's place. He's made some updates to his room and we're going to go in and take a look and see and check them out. I did a tour in his room about a year ago and since then he's had some awesome updates. So I thought, why not come over, walk you through those updates and you can take a look for yourself. So let's go.
Hi mate.
G'day mate.
Good to see you.
How you going?
Come in mate. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, you're welcome. Alright, I'm pretty excited Tony. I want to show you all my upgrades which I made over the last year, since you've been last here. And yeah, I can't wait to show you. So
awesome. Thanks for having me mate.
Come through. I think this time around Tony we're going to start with the rack because I can point quite a few things out quite quickly here. One big upgrade we got up here. I got myself a Yamaha PX10 to power my dual Krix Cyclonix 18 subwoofers. Love Krix. I mean, those subs are just absolutely incredible. Obviously, still have the PC13 Ultras from SVS, and I was able to really combine them nicely together and get a really nice and good response in the room. But yeah, it was just one of those upgrades which I wanted to make for such a long time. Still got my Anthem AVM70, which has been doing an amazing job. As you know, Tony, I'm into the calibration of things quite heavily. No, I didn't know that.
Sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's just really taking the room to a different level. Then I got my Crown XLS 1002s. These are for front whites and the overheads. I had them last time already. I got them now voice controlled so they turn on because they don't have the trigger input, which was a little bit of a down.
A lot of PA amps don't, like the Yamaha doesn't have one either.
Still got my Infinity fans, obviously AC Infinity for the cooling. I got another couple of fans inside the rack, just taking that hot air out of the rack, putting it up, and then it gets pumped up through the ceiling.
Very nice. I can see you got is that the T7?
Oh, I believe.
I what it's called.
Yeah, it's the plate version.
Cloud plate.
Cloud plate, right. Yeah, which you put in the ceiling, and it does a fantastic job.
And you got those massive XPRs down there.
Yeah, so obviously I had these for about 10 years now, which they've been just absolutely incredible. I mean, this is the Emotiva XPR-2. I have two of those and an XPR-5. They're about 60 kilos each, absolute beasts. The XPR-2 is 600 watts per channel into 8 ohms, and the XPR-5 is 400 watts into 8 ohms. So plenty of power, when needed.
Yep.
Don't know if I ever need it, but it's good to have. Another upgrade which I made, and I know that you heavily talked in your channel about it, is a Sapedi.
Yes.
This is the Neo. Again, I got quite a few hard drive bays underneath where I was able to put my media on and have it on the press of a button, let's say, which makes it really convenient. We can have a look at it later, what it looks like on the screen. It just works, which is fantastic, and it makes the whole swapping discs out and stuff, a thing of the past, really. So it's really good. I got an Apple TV, the latest version. Obviously, I got my trusty mini DSP on the side here. We now have, thankfully, four subwoofers connected to it.
Very nice.
Which is absolutely awesome. I was obviously, as I said, I was able to really dial it in quite nicely. And yeah, it's fantastic. I think one thing which I would like to point out, which a lot of people forget about, is when you have a projector in your room and God forbid, there's a storm and there's a power outage, and you don't get time to actually power down the actual cooling cycle of your projector, it can really do a lot of damage to your lamp. So I invested into a little backup battery up there.
Yeah, I can see it, UPS.
UPS, which the projector's connected to. It's not very strong, but it gives me about roughly 10 to 15 minutes to power it down.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So it's nice and safe. Because obviously, as you know now, owning an amazing JVC, the lamps are expensive, unfortunately.
But are they?
Yeah, just a little bit. And so it's great, obviously, to think about that as well as you go along. As we said, I've got a couple of other temperature units down here, which is I want to keep everything safe and sound in regards to overheating. And yeah, it's been working great.
Perfect.
So another cool upgrade, little upgrade, which is actually quite inexpensive and works absolutely amazing. And again, thanks to you, Tony, is that little flick button here, which I never had. So you just tie it into your network. It works with Alexa and Google, Amazon, I believe. And it's just awesome because literally on the press of a button, you can have different lighting scenes in the room. Yep,
I've got the Flick at home and yeah, it works awesome. I've got one at my main chair as well.
I guess another thing which I did, Antonio, I added these sound, what would we call them? Sound barriers around the door. So really that the sound can't escape as much as it used to.
Are they those Raven seals?
Raven seals,
Raven?
Yeah. It's like it's a special order, so you mount them to your door frame.
Yep.
And then it just, when you shut the door, it's just like perfectly sealed.
Yeah,
and then I've got one which drops down
the bottom as well.
Exactly. So, and I could actually tell that there was quite a bit of an improvement in regards to sound escaping from the room, because sometimes you don't realize that the bottom of your door, around your door, is not perfectly sealed. So yeah, it works really well.
Very good.
Still, obviously, when you run as many subwoofers as we have, or I have now, there's still some sound obviously leaking, but yeah.
You can't stop those bass waves going through the door.
But come in, you're gonna see one major thing straight away as we walk in. One of my biggest upgrades and most proud of.
Wow, the Valencias.
Wow, yeah. Absolutely amazing. I can't believe I got Valencia seats in my theater. Big shout out to Valencia. I mean, just the craftsmanship, even when the box arrives, like the detail, the little QR code, and I still have problems taking them out of the box because obviously I'm very impatient. I didn't wait for anyone to help me, so I had to rip the boxes open and get to it. It was a little bit of a challenge because obviously quality mostly means that things are heavy and well made.
Yes.
So it was definitely a struggle to get them out of the box and get them going.
Well, I heard the boxes were like a bit of an amusement park for your kids.
They certainly were. I mean, I had fun with Daddy, had fun with the seats, but the kids had a lot of fun with the boxes hiding inside. And yeah, it's like, hopefully they're still around, the kids, and I didn't ship them away with the boxes. So, but I mean, yeah, when it comes to Valencia seating, I had, as you know, Tony, I had decent seats before, which I really like. Obviously, 5 years ago when I built this room, was a little bit of a budget when it came to seats, and I found some good seats at a shop here, Amart, which were great. What I didn't consider at the time is having all single seats, and it was taking up a lot of real estate in the room, which did annoy me because
double armrests.
Double armrests, exactly, was just taking up too much space. Now going from something like that to Valencia, I mean, just the pure comfort, as I was saying, the quality, I love the lumbar support, the backrest, the recline function, the motor, the smoothness, there's absolutely no tweaking, no noise whatsoever. Absolutely amazing. And I mean, look at it, it just looks
they look awesome in your room, mate. And yeah, I'm glad to have been able to help you out. So yeah, guys, cheeky plug to myself here, but if you're in Australia and you're after Valencia home theatre seating, make sure you hit me up. There will be links down in the description.
Yeah,
so yeah, these seats have the 3 points of recline, the neck, back, and leg. These are the standard Tuscanys.
Tuscanys, yes.
So these ones don't have the multiple RGB colours, but you know they're still. You know, your room, you always have blue. Like every room tour I've done, like your LEDs are blue.
Yeah.
And you got the blue lights on, so everything kind of goes anyway.
Yeah, no, it works perfectly. I mean, I'll probably. I mean, if I would have it, I probably would change it every now and then.
We got you the 2 single seats.
Yes.
So these are just they're not joined together.
They're not joined together, no.
So you get a little bit of extra arm space, I guess, if you're up there, but they fit nicely on the back riser.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting in here, I'll sit down. See, this is my eye line, and you can see easily over the top of the seats in front. Yeah. So yeah, and plenty of room to recline. Yeah, I love this view. This looks awesome, Leo. Yeah. You also got some accessories too, I think.
Obviously I got the iPad holder, which is absolutely awesome. I had a bit of a makeshift thing with my old seats, but obviously, you know, going to something like this, and again, for me, is the craftsmanship and how everything works. Just be able to, you know, swiggle it around, and it's really cool. That's what it's supposed to do. And then I got the tray tables.
Very good.
Which are in here. The kids absolutely love them because obviously whenever we watch a movie, we have some popcorn and some drinks and stuff. And again, it's just so simple. And you know, that carbon fiber looks so good. Yeah. But it makes it's just that next level of comfort and luxury, which is just awesome. So
guys, I promise you, I'm not paying Leo to say this. Like he called me up, and yeah, he genuinely loves his chairs. So yeah. Just so you know, not a paid arrangement.
No, not a paid arrangement whatsoever. But I think this upgrade really taking my room to that finish stage, which I was after, where before when I walked in, I had different seats at the back, and it's sort of, you always wonder what would it look like if you got exactly the same seats. And obviously in the front, my goal was to have a little bit more space on the sides to be able to walk around. The room is not small, but it's certainly not the biggest either.
Well, with the other seats, because they had the double armrest, like I remember in your room, it was coming well into that walkway.
Yeah.
So now at least we can walk in.
And you know, I think the best confirmation of a good investment is when the wife comes in and she takes a seat and she just like says, wow.
Yep, wife approval factor is real.
I'm in heaven. But I think I have the same problem now as you have, Tony. Whenever I take a seat on these amazing seats and I recline,
you fall asleep?
I fall asleep.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because that's just too comfortable.
I complain about that all the time.
Yeah, but obviously because I had to make some changes to the room because I got another very big upgrade.
Let's go have a look at that.
In the front here.
All those big boxes at the front of the room.
Yeah, I wanted to build a bar. No, sorry. So what we can do, we can actually take that cover off so you guys can have a bit of a better look. And then I explain why I built this for my room.
These are the monstrous Krix Cyclonix 18s, which you will see featured actually in the ISC 2023 video that I did when I went to Spain early in February. These were the same subwoofers that we got to see at ISC with Trinov. So yeah, I can attest these are absolutely monstrous subs.
Monsters, yeah. I guess probably people are going to wonder why was this needed, because I obviously had my PC13 Ultras, which got plenty of power.
I don't think anyone's going to ask why you wanted more subs. Like that's like, there's
as we said,
wrong
there's no
subs.
overkill. But hearing Krix speakers, obviously in your room, in Matt's room, in Ben's room, and in other rooms, I was sold from the get-go. This is why I did what I did to this room. Obviously, as we know, I'll put the Krix speakers behind.
Yeah, if you guys want to see, I'll leave a link up above. There is going to be a tour already on YouTube with Leo's first tour, where I sort of cover it in my normal tour sort of style, whereas this is more of just a chat. But yeah, you'll see Leo had Polk Towers in his first tour, and then he obviously went to Krix after he sort of got exposed to Krix through my channel. Because obviously I'm like a big fan of Krix, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, Leo's jumped ship and he's gone all Krix now, apart from the PC13s in the back. But
and then I was going to say, as we know, we all at some point have a bit of limitations to our rooms and what we can do. So I was obviously considering, hey, I wanted to go to 4 subwoofers in my room. That was always a goal. I found it a bit hard to think on how I'm going to achieve this, because the size of the room and with the projector now, there's nothing really how I can build the screen out any further and actually create a shelf at the back to house something like this. So when I reached out to Krix and had a look at their website, then these babies, you know, just caught my eye straight away. First of all, the way they look, the 18-inch, hearing all the amazing stories from Tony in the rooms he's been in where he heard those babies, and I was like, how can I make him fit? And it happened to be that they are the perfect size to fit under my screen without actually doing anything to what I've done previously, which was a big selling point. The boxes were ginormous. I mean, it was no joke. The missus thought I bought a hot water system or a fridge or something. Yeah, so basically they did not, because usually they're behind the screen with the other speakers. So they do not come with a cover. There's another version which does, but obviously, as I said, I wanted these guys. So what I did actually, I just built my own little grill to put in front of it with a speaker cloth and a bit of a frame, and then I just use some Velcro and I can stick it to the front, and it's as easy as that, and that way it blends in real nice. One other upgrade which I made in my room, Tony, is I had a bit of a problem in this room with fresh air. I do sometimes longer sessions in here with the wife and the kids, and you know, we watch Lord of the Rings, a 3-hour something movie. And it used to get quite stuffy because I made sure that the room is sealed to the max, or to, you know, what I could achieve. And, you know, after sort of the 2-hour mark with four people in here, it used to get quite stuffy. So as you guys know, I always had the hot air extraction out of the room, vent in the ceiling. So obviously that was designed when the room heats up, I got a temperature probe at the back. Once it hits sort of that 24, 25 degrees mark, it then kicks in and starts sucking that hot air out. So what I did is I got one more of the AC Infinity Cloudline fans, which I put up into the roof space. I ducted that to the ceiling here. I don't know if you can see it, there's just a light there. And then I have another duct which goes outside. If it has a certain temperature outside or below a certain temperature, that kicks in and brings that fresh air into the room. For me, mostly, Tony, I watch, you know, in the afternoons where we might have a hot day here, but the house is all heated up. But actually outside it's getting nice and cool. So it's nice to bring it in. And I can really tell now sitting in these seats here, how I got a bit of an airflow going in the room, and that stuffiness is definitely away. So it actually makes me enjoy my movies a lot better now for a lot longer. So it works really, really well.
Now, one thing that we'll talk about is the JVC, because obviously that's one of the things that you actually influenced me about when it came to projectors. So basically I ended up getting a JVC MP5. Obviously Leo's got the NX7 or the N7 behind up there, and phenomenal picture, always appreciated the image when I would come here. And so Leo kind of talked me into getting the JVC, and I got the MP5. And yeah, we actually finished calibrating it last night. So there will be another video coming on that. We're actually going to record the second part of that video here, but when you see that video, it'll all be in one video. Yeah. And yeah, we're going to talk about the calibration process. And also, one other thing, I'll give Leo a quick plug, because as a massive enthusiast like me, he's actually mastered the art of calibration. And when I say mastered, I don't use that word lightly. He's put in a lot of research into, over the last few years, into calibration, and he's got the tools and the expertise to calibrate, and he's even done quite a few remote calibrations. So there's guys on our Discord server, and I will leave links down in the description to the Discord server, where he's managed to calibrate some of our members for a fee, of course, just to cover his time, but it can go for anywhere from 6 to 10 hours to calibrate. He takes his time and really makes sure that he's getting the image the way that the room owner wants it. So if you're interested, I will leave links to Leo's email down in the description. You can reach out to him that way and negotiate with him. That's his little side hustle that he's got going, and trying to bring back some of that you know, DIY enthusiasm to the home theater community. So yeah, what we might do now is we might fire up the projector and actually give you some demos. Can't promise that you'll hear what we're hearing in this room, obviously being recorded through little microphones, but you will get an idea for the type of scope and scale that you get from Leo's room.
Life was given to us a billion years ago. What have we done with it?
So guys, that concludes the updated tour of Leo's room. I'd like to thank Leo for having me over again to experience the room, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the updates. Make sure you check the link in the description for the previous room tour, which has pretty much everything else that we didn't mention, including the speakers behind the screen and all the other speakers and the configuration. So make sure you check that out. Links are down in the description. I'd like to thank him for having me over, and yeah, make sure you stay tuned, because in a couple of weeks, I know I've been promising this, but I do have my own updated room tour coming as well. It's just a huge job to edit that one, because there's over 6 months worth of footage. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And again, thanks Leo, and you'll catch me in the next video. Bye for now. Yeah, that's good.
Good.